So this is going to be a cable lateral raise, but it's going to be a little bit different from the traditional cable lateral, which is usually done either in front of the body or behind the body. This is actually going to be done between the legs, kind of through the crotch. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up the cable so that it's roughly around knee height. It doesn't have to exactly be at knee height, but it's somewhere around there is probably a good starting point for most people. From there, if I'm going to be training my right arm, what I want to do is I actually want to feel like, okay, where does my right arm feel good coming up and out to the side? And I'm going to make sure that my palm stays toward the floor, right? This is a middle delt sort of activity, so we don't want to be rotating this way or this way. We want to be somewhere in the middle. And so from that point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my comfortable arm path, which again is somewhere probably out 45 degrees. It's not going to be straight forward or straight to the side. And then I'm basically just going to turn so that the cable running through my legs can kind of load that exact direction. Now, notice that at the bottom of the range, I'm not sort of letting my hand run into my body. I'm not letting my whole arm run into my body. I'm keeping it a little bit active and away from my body so that the bottom of the range is actually not sort of in contact with me. It's slightly away from that point. So once you get the hang of it and once you feel that where that comfortable slot is, it'll be really intuitive and really easy to set up. But if you are doing this for the first time, definitely play around with sort of what angle you're rotated at, where your feet are facing, how wide you're spread, etc. You can move the cable down, move it up. Basically just whatever feels better initially is going to be a good starting point. And then from that point forward, you can start to sort of be a little bit more nuanced insofar as how you actually go about executing these things. But if I were to actually set this up on my opposite side now, just to show, what I would do is I would face the other way so that that cable angle would be slightly, again, in that opposite oblique direction, and my arm path comfortably is somewhere from here to here, somewhere from about 0 to 90-ish degrees. And you can see that with the left arm, especially from this angle, that cable basically runs in the same direction that my arm is moving, right? It runs right directly underneath of the arm, right? So if I wanted to show it from this side, what it would look like is something very similar, where again, that cable path is almost identically mimicking, from a parallel direction perspective, motion of the arm up and out. So you can think of that as a general rule where wherever the arm goes, we want the cable to be moving sort of in that same plane, in that same direction. If the cable, we find is, somewhere offset this way, we'll be dealing with some other forces that we might not want to be dealing with insofar as middle delt motions go. So give this crotch lateral raise a try again. We straddle, we line up around knee height, we turn away from whatever working arm is doing the working on that set, and then we go through that motion, having done that arm path and performed that arm path to find what our sort of comfortable range ended up being. If you want to go up into the higher ranges of flexion, meaning instead of stopping up here, we stop a little bit higher, you can do that, but you're going to either have to move back so that the cable is more in front of you to load more of that range, or you're just going to have to step to the side of it, both of which are also fine options as well.